UNICEF spokesperson Tess Ingram joins me now from Gaza. Tess, I appreciate you being with us once again. The factor there, that package from Jeremy Diamond had one main point. Every single one of those, voices we heard, parents of little children, more than half, of course, almost 46, almost half of those killed were children. I mean, that is just unfathomable that we are here yet again. Just give us a sense of what you are hearing on the ground and what you are seeing, more importantly, too.
It was a very dark day in Gaza today. Reportedly 46 children killed in about 24 hours, which is a figure that should shock the international community and a brutal but unnecessary reminder of what is at stake here in this ceasefire. It is, again, children's lives. I was at NASA Hospital today, where I met children who were injured last night, an 11-year-old girl called Toka, who said that shrapnel ripped through the tent that she and her family were in and found its way into her leg, her arm and her skull. Her brothers were injured, her parents were injured. And I also met a 5-year-old girl called Tala, who was injured last week when she was with her grandparents in Khan Yunis to the east of where I am now. An airstrike buried her underneath rubble, and she was under there for 24 hours before she was found alive. But she told her family that she could hear dogs eating her grandparents' bodies. And this is during a ceasefire, Issa, a ceasefire.
It's unbelievable that we're talking about this yet again under a ceasefire, right? I remember James Elder, your colleague, saying to me, this is a war on children. And I remember the last time you and I spoke, Tess, we were talking about humanitarian deliveries. But what do you tell Palestinians, those on the ground, when they say, why is this happening to us when we're in a ceasefire? I mean, when is a ceasefire not a ceasefire?
The sound of drones above us now and all day today make Gaza feel anything but calm. And as one mother said to me today, the mechanical hum of the drones is in my bones. I can't escape it. And people here are terrified that the ceasefire will collapse and they will be returned to the constant attacks, the atrocities of the last 2 years. People have had enough. They're exhausted. And they're seeing a bit of hope in this ceasefire, in the slight increase in aid coming in their attempts to try and resume some sort of normalcy, even if that is just erecting a makeshift shelter in the rubble of what used to be their homes. And we need to give people that chance. And yet here we are again on the brink of absolute disaster.
And you spoke about, creeping aid. You and I spoke last time as this was being agreed, and you said to me, I remember you saying, we need to be seeing aid being scaled up, right? Humanitarian deliveries. Has that happened? What have you seen? What are you and your team on the ground? What have you been seeing in the last 2.5 weeks or so?
So we've been measuring how many pallets of aid we get in, and in the 10 weeks before the ceasefire, we were averaging about 1,100 pallets a week. Now we've gone to about 2,700. So we've just more than doubled the volume of aid we've been getting in this ceasefire. But we were coming off a very low base, so that is still not enough. We need to go higher again. And we have 1,500 trucks pre-positioned outside the Gaza Strip waiting to come in with life-saving aid. But the rate at which they're moving in is far too slow. So we continue to call on the Israeli authorities to open all of the crossings into the Gaza Strip and allow the aid into Gaza in a meaningful way. If we're serious about this ceasefire, about remedying the damage that is being done, this aid needs to come in now. This is our opportunity to stop children from dying from preventable deaths like malnutrition.
And what are you hearing? What is UNICEF hearing when you ask that question over why we're not seeing aid coming in at the required levels? What response do you get to that?
We're told that aid is being facilitated, and this is something that we've heard constantly for 2 years, but it is not enough.
Yeah.
We need all of the crossings to open. We need aid to come in at scale. We need the processes at those crossings to be more efficient so that the trucks can move through faster. And we need to be given routes to move within the Gaza Strip that facilitate the fast movement of aid. For example, at the moment, we're being funneled down a road that's incredibly crowded coming out of the most southern crossing, and that delays us moving trucks for many hours. So there's still things that are hindering our movement in the Gaza Strip to get aid to people who are desperately waiting for it.
Tess Ingram, I really appreciate, Tess, you coming on and giving us the very latest, very busy, very noisy, as you can see, hear the drones behind her, gives you a reality of situation on the ground right now. Tess, appreciate it as always. Thank you. I'll have